Commander Jake Harrison stood in the control room of Earth's Defense Station Alpha, staring at the massive screens that showed empty space around Earth. For 32 years, those screens had shown nothing but stars and planets. Today was different. Today, something was coming. "Sir, we're getting a signal," said Lieutenant Karen Foster, her fingers dancing across her control panel. "It's not from any of our ships." Jake walked over to her station. His heart was beating fast. First contact with aliens had always been a possibility, but now that it was happening, he felt scared and excited at the same time. "What kind of signal?" he asked. "It's complex, sir. Very advanced. The computer's trying to translate it now." Dr. Lisa Monroe rushed into the control room. She was Earth's top expert on alien life, even though she had never actually seen any aliens before. Her red hair was messy, and she looked like she had been running. "Jake, is it true? Are we really getting a signal from space?" she asked, breathing hard. Before Jake could answer, the main screen flickered. Strange symbols appeared, then slowly changed into English words. A voice began to speak, clear and calm. "Greetings, people of Earth. We are the Kaleri Collective. We come in peace." The control room went silent. Everyone stopped what they were doing and stared at the screen. Jake felt his mouth go dry. "We have been watching your world for many centuries," the voice continued. "We have waited for the right time to make contact. The time is now." The screen shimmered and showed the image of a tall, thin creature. It looked almost like a person, but its skin was pale blue and seemed to glow softly. Its eyes were large and silver, and it wore flowing robes that sparkled like stars. "I am High Counselor Zephyr," the alien said. "I speak for all Kaleri people. We wish to meet with your leaders." Jake looked around the room. Everyone was staring at him. As the commander of Earth's Defense Forces, this was his responsibility. "This is Commander Jake Harrison of Earth's Defense Coalition," he said, stepping closer to the screen. We welcome your contact." Zephyr's face showed what might have been a smile. "Commander Harrison, we have much to discuss. May we request a meeting? We have important information about your world's safety." 2 hours later, Jake sat in the main conference room with Earth's most important people. Dr. Lisa Monroe sat to his right, still looking amazed. Paul Mitchell, Earth's top diplomat, sat across from him, taking notes. General Robert Kane, head of Earth's military forces, sat at the end of the table, his face serious. The alien High Counselor appeared on the large screen at the front of the room. Even through the screen, Zephyr seemed to fill the room with a strange, peaceful energy. "We must tell you the truth about your situation," Zephyr began. "Your world is in great danger." Jake felt cold fear in his stomach. "What kind of danger?" "There are others in the galaxy," Zephyr explained. "Not like us. They are violent, cruel beings who see other races as food or slaves. Call them the savage reaches." Dr. Monroe leaned forward. "How many different species are we talking about?" "Dozens," Zephyr replied. "The Vorthon Empire alone has destroyed 16 different worlds in the past century. The Kresh Horde eats any intelligent life they find. The Shadow Syndicate takes prisoners to work in their mines until they die." General Kane spoke up. "Why haven't they found Earth yet?" "'Cause we have protected you," Zephyr said. "For over 200 years, we have maintained an energy barrier around your solar system. It hides Earth from their detection systems. To them, this area of space appears empty." Paul Mitchell looked confused. "Why would you protect us? You don't even know us." Zephyr's silver eyes seemed to shine brighter. "We believe all intelligent life has value. When we first discovered your world, we saw a young species with great potential. We decided you deserved a chance to grow and develop in safety." Jake thought about this. It sounded too good to be true, but the alien seemed sincere. "What do you want from us in return?" he asked. "Partnership," Zephyr replied. "We can offer you advanced technology. Clean energy that will end your pollution problems. Medical knowledge that will cure your diseases. Space travel technology that will let you explore safely." Dr. Monroe's eyes went wide. "What would we need to do?" Simply accept our guidance, Zephyr said. Let us help you develop responsibly. Some technologies are too dangerous for young species. Some areas of space are too risky to explore. We can help you avoid the mistakes that destroyed other civilizations. The meeting continued for 3 more hours. Zephyr showed them images of beautiful Kalari cities floating in space. He explained their peaceful society and their advanced science. He told them about the horrible wars that raged in other parts of the galaxy. When the meeting ended, Jake felt overwhelmed. Everything had changed in one day. Humanity was no longer alone, but they were also in terrible danger. That evening, Jake walked through the corridors of the space station. He found Captain Ryan Brooks in the observation deck, staring out at the stars. Ryan was one of Earth's best space pilots and commanded the exploration ship Endeavour. Crazy day, Ryan said without turning around. That's one way to put it, Jake replied, joining him at the window. You believe them? Ryan asked. Jake was quiet for a moment. I want to. The alternative is too scary to think about. I've been thinking about it all day, Ryan said. Something doesn't feel right. What do you mean? Ryan pointed out the window. I've been flying through this system for 10 years. I know every asteroid, every energy reading. If there's been some kind of barrier protecting us, why haven't our instruments ever detected it? Jake frowned. Maybe their technology is too advanced for us to detect. Maybe, Ryan said, but he didn't sound convinced. Or maybe there's something else going on. The next morning, Jake met with the Kalari again. This time, Zephyr had brought other council members. They all looked similar, tall and glowing with those strange silver eyes. We are prepared to begin sharing technology immediately, Zephyr announced. However, we must ask that you stop all deep space exploration missions until we can ensure your safety. Jake felt surprised. Stop our exploration? Is for your protection, another Kalari said. If your ships travel too far from Earth, they might be detected by the savage reaches. It's the barrier that protects your world cannot extend to cover ships that travel too far away. General Kane looked unhappy. How far is too far? Beyond your moon, Zephyr replied. Until we can develop better protection for your vessels, all human ships must stay within that boundary. Dr. Monroe spoke up. What about our research stations? We have equipment throughout the solar system. Those will need to be recalled, Zephyr said firmly. We know this is difficult, but it is necessary. After the meeting, Jake felt troubled. The Kalari's offer was amazing, but their restrictions seemed extreme. He decided to call Captain Ryan Brooks. Ryan, I need you to do something for me, Jake said. But it has to stay between us. What is it? I want you to take the Endeavour and test their barrier story. See if you can detect any energy readings at the edge of our solar system. Ryan was quiet for a moment. It might be dangerous if they're telling the truth. I know. But something feels wrong about all this. We need to know what we're really dealing with. When do you want me to go? Tonight? Use the stealth systems. Don't let anyone detect you, including the Kalari. Ryan agreed. But Jake could hear the worry in his voice. As he ended the call, Jake stared out at the stars again. In less than 24 hours, everything humanity thought they knew about their place in the universe had changed. The question was whether the Kalari were really the saviors they claimed to be, or if there was something much more complicated happening. Jake had a feeling they were about to find out. Captain Ryan Brooks sat in the pilot's seat of the Endeavour, watching the stars through the front window. His hands moved quietly over the controls, turning on the ship's stealth systems. The ship became invisible to most detection equipment, just a shadow moving through space. Tony, are all systems ready? Ryan asked his engineer. Tony Garcia looked up from his control panel. Everything looks good, Captain. The stealth field is holding steady, and our sensors are working perfectly. Helen Wright, the ship's communications expert, turned from her station. I'm monitoring all frequencies. If anyone tries to scan us, I'll know immediately. Ryan nodded. The three of them had worked together for 5 years on exploration missions. They trusted each other completely, which was important for what they were about to do. Remember, we're just going to the edge of the solar system, Ryan said. We'll look for any signs of this energy barrier that Kalari talked about. We find Kalari. Something dangerous, we come back immediately. The Endeavour moved silently through space, past Mars and Jupiter, heading toward the outer edge of the solar system. Ryan had made this trip many times before, but tonight felt different. Tonight they might discover that everything they thought they knew about space was wrong. "Captain, I'm picking up something strange," Helen said after 2 hours of travel. "Kind of something, metal debris, lots of it. About 1,000,000 miles ahead of us." Ryan felt his heart start beating faster. "Can you tell what it is?" Helen worked at her controls for several minutes. "It looks like ship parts, but not from any Earth vessels. The metal composition is completely different from anything we've ever made." Tony looked up from his engineering station. "Captain, I'm reading energy signatures from the debris field. Whatever happened there was recent, maybe within the last few months." Ryan made a decision. "Take us closer, but keep the stealth. Field active." As the Endeavour approached the debris field, the 3 crew members stared in amazement. Floating in space around them were the remains of dozens of ships. Some were huge, bigger than any Earth vessel. Others were small and fast-looking. All of them were torn apart by some kind of powerful weapons. "My God," Helen whispered. "What happened here?" Ryan guided the ship carefully through the debris. The damage to the alien vessels was massive. Huge holes had been burned through their hulls. Some ships had been completely cut in half. "Tony, can you analyze the weapon damage?" Ryan asked. Tony studied his readings. "The energy patterns are incredible. Whatever weapons did this were extremely advanced. But Captain, here's the strange part. Some of these weapons' signatures match technology that Earth has been working on." Ryan felt cold. "What do you mean?" "The plasma burn patterns, the way some of these holes were cut, they look like they were made by weapons similar to our experimental defense systems." Helen suddenly looked up from her station. "Captain, I'm picking up a transmission from one of the wrecked ships. It's very weak, but the computer's trying to translate it. Put it on the main speaker." Static filled the cabin. Then a voice spoke in broken English. The translation was rough, but they could understand most of it. "Warning to all ships, do not approach the third planet. The humans, they are not what they seem. Our fleet of 200 vessels, destroyed in less than 1 day. They fight like demons. Their weapons, too powerful, We came seeking the primitive world, but found hunters instead." The transmission faded into static. The 3 crew members sat in silence, staring at each other. "Did that say humans?" Helen asked quietly. "It did," Ryan replied. "Tony, how old is this debris field?" Tony checked his instruments again. "Based on the energy decay, I'd say these ships were destroyed about 6 months ago." Ryan felt his world changing. 6 months ago, Earth had no contact with any aliens, yet here was evidence that human weapons had destroyed an entire alien fleet. "We need to search for more information," he said. "Helen, see if you can find any other transmissions. Tony, analyze every piece of debris you can scan." For the next 4 hours, they worked through the debris field. They found parts of ships from at least 15 different alien species. All had been destroyed by the same type of weapons. All had been trying to reach Earth. Helen made the most disturbing discovery. She found a mostly intact computer core from one of the larger ships. When she connected it to the Endeavour's systems, it revealed hundreds of files about Earth and humanity. "Captain, you need to see this," she said, her voice shaking. The files showed detailed maps of Earth, information about human cities, and something much worse. They showed plans for invasion. The aliens hadn't come to Earth as friends. They had come as conquerors, but the most shocking part was in the final files. They contained intelligence reports about human military capabilities. The reports were terrifying. "According to this," Helen said, reading from the translated files, "humans have been expanding into space for over 50 years. They've established hidden military bases throughout this region of the galaxy. Their technology is far more advanced than they let anyone believe." Tony looked up from his analysis of the ship debris. "Captain, I've been studying the hull damage. These aliens had advanced shields and armor. Whatever weapons destroyed them went through their defenses like paper." Ryan stared out at the debris field. Everything the Kalaria told them was a lie. There was no protective barrier around Earth. There were no savage alien species trying to destroy humanity. The truth was much worse. We need to get back to Earth, he said. Commander Harrison needs to know about this immediately. As the Endeavor turned toward home, Helen continued working on the alien computer files. Captain, there's something else. These aliens had been watching Earth for decades. They have detailed reports about human behavior, human military development, even human psychology. What do the reports say? Helen was quiet for a moment. They're afraid of us. Really afraid. According to these files, every alien species that has ever encountered humans has either been destroyed or has fled to other parts of the galaxy. Tony shook his head. It's impossible. We've never fought any aliens before yesterday. Maybe we have, Ryan said quietly. Maybe the government has kept it secret. The trip back to Earth took 6 hours. During that time, Helen discovered more alien files. The picture they painted was incredible and frightening. According to the aliens, humans were not the peaceful explorers they thought they were. They were the most dangerous species in the galaxy. The files contained reports from alien spies who had observed human behavior for centuries. They described humans as natural hunters who worked together in groups to destroy their enemies. They noted that humans were unusually adaptable, able to survive in environments that would kill other species. Most disturbing of all, they observed that humans seemed to enjoy fighting and were very good at it. When the Endeavor reached Earth, Ryan immediately contacted Commander Harrison on a secure channel. Jake, we need to meet privately. What we found changes everything. How bad is it? Jake asked.
8.
Worse than we thought, but not in the way we expected. An hour later, Ryan, Tony, and Helen sat in Jake's private office, sharing what they had discovered. Jake listened in silence as they described the debris field and the alien files.
So,
You're telling me that the Kalari are lying about protecting us? Jake said when they finished. Yes, sir. But that's not the worst part, Ryan replied. According to these alien files, we don't need protection. We're the ones that everyone else is afraid of. Jake stood up and walked to the window. Outside, Earth looked peaceful and quiet. It was hard to believe that this world was home to the galaxy's most feared species. What about the Kalari? He asked. Why are they really here? Helen spoke up. I think they're trying to contain us. All their restrictions about not leaving the solar system, not exploring deep space, I think they're trying to keep us trapped here. Tony nodded. The weapon signatures in that debris field match our experimental defense systems perfectly. Somehow, humans have been fighting in space for decades, and most of us don't even know it. Jake turned back to face them. We need more information. I want you to contact some of our deep space research stations, the ones that have been out there the longest. Ask them what they've really been doing. As Ryan, Tony, and Helen left the office, Jake sat down at his desk and stared at the alien communication device the Kalari had given him. Tomorrow, he would have to meet with High Counselor Zephdor again. But now, he would be asking very different questions. The Kalari claimed they were protecting Earth from dangerous aliens. But if the evidence was correct, the most dangerous species in the galaxy was humanity itself. Somehow, the Kalari knew it. Captain Ryan Brooks stood in the cargo bay of the Endeavor, staring at the alien device they had recovered from the debris field. It looked like a metal cube covered in strange symbols, about the size of a briefcase. Tony Garcia was carefully connecting it to their ship's computer systems. Are you sure this is safe? Helen Wright asked, watching nervously as Tony worked. Nothing about this is safe, Ryan replied. But we need to know what's on this thing. The device had come from the largest alien ship in the debris field. Helen had managed to remove it before they returned to Earth. If it contained what they thought it did, it would change everything humanity believed about itself. Got it, Tony said. The connection is stable. Helen, try accessing their files. Helen sat down at her computer station and began typing commands. The alien symbols on her screen slowly changed into English text. Her face went pale as she read. Captain, this is incredible. It's a complete intelligence database about humanity. It goes back over 300 years. What does it say? Ryan asked. Helen was quiet for a long moment, reading through the files. According to this, the first alien contact with humans happened in 1742. A species called the Morvac Empire sent scouts to study Earth. The scouts never returned. Tony stopped his work and looked up. What happened to them? The files don't say exactly, but there are reports of strange lights in the sky and missing Morvac vessels. After that, every alien species that tried to study Earth had the same problem. Ships would disappear. Crews would vanish. Ryan felt his stomach tighten. Keep reading. Ellen scrolled through more files. Here's something from 1847. The Zeltron. Confederacy sent a full research fleet to Earth. 27 ships, only 3 made it back, and they were badly damaged. The survivors reported that they were attacked by primitive human vessels that shouldn't have been able to hurt them. Primitive vessels? Tony asked. That's what they called them? But look at this technical analysis. Helen pointed to her screen. The human weapons were specifically designed to target Zeltron weak points. Somehow the humans knew exactly how to hurt them. Ryan walked closer to look at the screen. The files contained detailed drawings of human weapons and ships from different time periods. What scared him was how advanced they looked compared to what he thought humans had in those years. Helen looked for files about more recent contacts. Helen typed new commands and found files from the past 50 years. What she read made her hand shake. Captain, according to this, humans have been actively hunting alien vessels throughout this region of space. The aliens call us the Shadow Hunters because human ships appear without warning, attack with incredible violence, then disappear. Tony sat down heavily in his chair. How is that possible? We would know if Earth had that kind of space capability. Maybe Earth doesn't, Ryan said quietly. Maybe it's humans who left Earth decades ago. Helen found another file that made her gasp. Captain, look at this. It's a report from just 2 years ago. A species called the Keth Alliance sent diplomatic envoys to make contact with Earth. The entire diplomatic fleet was destroyed before it reached our solar system. Destroyed by what? Human warships. The report says the human vessels were unlike anything they had ever seen. Fast, heavily armed, and operated by crews that fought like they had been training for war their entire lives. Ryan thought about what Commander Harrison had told him about the deep space research stations. Maybe they weren't research stations at all. Helen, see if you can find anything about human military bases or colonies. Helen searched through the alien database for several minutes. When she found what she was looking for, her face went white. Captain, the aliens have been tracking human expansion for decades. According to their intelligence, humans have established hidden bases in over 40 star systems. They estimate the human population outside of Earth is over 2 million people. Tony stood up so fast his chair fell over. 2 million? It's impossible. Earth would know if that many people had left the planet, unless it was kept secret, Ryan said. Think about all the colony ships that were reported lost over the years. What if they weren't lost? What if they made it to their destinations and just never reported back? Helen continued reading through the files. There's more. The aliens have detailed personality profiles of human behavior. They say humans are natural pack hunters who work together to kill larger prey. They note that humans are unusually aggressive. Compared to other intelligent species, what else? They're afraid of our adaptability. According to these files, humans can survive in environments that would kill most other species. They also say humans are unpredictable because we can be peaceful one moment and violent the next. Ryan walked to the window and looked out at the stars. Somewhere out there, millions of humans were living and working in secret, building an empire that Earth knew nothing about. Helen, look for anything about the Kalari. Helen searched the database and found several files about their new alien contacts. Here it is. The Kalari Collective has been monitoring the human expansion for over a century. They tried to make contact with the human colonies directly, but every attempt failed. Human colonists either ignored them or attacked their ships. Tony looked confused. Then why are they talking to Earth now? Helen, read further. Goes Earth is the source. They believe that if they can control Earth, they can stop human expansion. They think Earth is sending out the colonists and directing the military campaigns. But that's not true, Ryan said. Earth doesn't even know about the colonies. Kalari don't know that, Helen replied. Look at this. They think Earth is the center of a vast human empire. They believe everything is being coordinated from here. Ryan began to understand. So they're trying to negotiate with what they think is the human government. They want to make a deal to stop the expansion. Exactly. But here's the scary part. Helen pointed to another file. The Kalari represent an alliance of 17 different alien species, or the survivors. According to this, over 40 alien civilizations have already been completely destroyed by human expansion. The cargo bay was quiet for several minutes as the three crew members thought about what they had learned. Everything they believed about. Humanity was wrong. They weren't a young species taking their first steps into space. They were an ancient force of expansion and conquest that had been spreading through the galaxy for centuries. We need to tell Commander Harrison, Ryan finally said, 2 hours later. They were back on Earth Defense Station Alpha, sitting in Jake Harrison's office. Jake listened quietly as they explained what they had found in the alien database, telling me that humans have been conquering other species for hundreds of years, Jake said when they finished. According to the aliens, yes, Ryan replied. And apparently we're very good at it. Jake stood up and walked to his secure communication panel. I need to make some calls. There are people who might know more about this. He typed in a secure code and waited. A moment later, a stern-looking woman appeared on the screen. Ryan recognized her as Colonel Patricia Adams, head of Space Command Intelligence. Jake, I was wondering when you would call, she said. Patricia, I need to know the truth about our deep space operations. Colonel Adams was quiet for a moment. How much have you figured out? Enough to know that we've been lied to about what humans are really doing in space. The three officers with you? Are they cleared for classified information? Jake looked at Ryan, Tony, and Helen. They are now. Colonel Adams nodded. Very well. The truth is that humanity has been expanding through space for over 2 centuries. What the public knows as exploration missions were actually colonization and military campaigns. Tony spoke up. How many people are we talking about? Current estimates put the human population in space at over 5 million people, spread across 63 star systems. Helen gasped. 5 million. The expansion began in the early 1800s with secret government programs. As our technology improved, we established hidden bases and colonies. Each generation of colonists pushed further into space. Ryan asked the question they were all thinking. What about the aliens? Have we really been fighting them for centuries? Colonel Adams. Expression became grim. Captain Brooks, humanity didn't seek out conflict with alien species. But every time we encountered them, they either tried to study us, control us, or destroy us. We learned early that the only way to survive in space was to strike first and strike hard. Jake felt like the ground was shifting under his feet. Why wasn't Earth told about any of this? Because Earth was our safe harbor. If the colonies were ever discovered and destroyed, Earth would be humanity's backup plan. The colonies have been protecting Earth for generations, not the other way around. What about the Kalari? Helen asked. Do they really represent other alien species? The Kalari Collective is the largest remaining alliance of free alien species in this region of the galaxy. They're trying to negotiate a peace treaty because they can't win a war against us. Tony looked shocked. We're that powerful? Lieutenant Garcia, human military technology is centuries ahead of what Earth believes is possible. Our weapons, ships, and tactics have been refined through constant warfare. Most alien species surrender when they realize they're facing humans. Captain Ryan Brooks guided the Endeavor through the outer edges of the solar system, but this time he wasn't alone. 3 other ships followed behind him, all equipped with the most advanced sensors Earth had available. Their mission was different. Now, they weren't looking for evidence of alien threats. They were looking for survivors. Captain, I'm detecting a weak signal from the debris field, Helen Wright reported from her communications station. It's very faint, but it's definitely artificial. Can you trace it? Working on it now. Helen's fingers moved quickly over her controls. Got it. The signal is coming from a damaged ship about 2 miles from our previous location. Tony Garcia looked up from his engineering station. Life support readings are minimal, but there's definitely something alive over there. Ryan made a decision that would change everything. Take us to that ship. We're going to make contact. The damaged alien vessel was much smaller than the others. In the debris field, it looked like it had been designed for speed rather than combat. Large holes had been burned through its hull, but part of the ship was still sealed and pressurized. Helen, try to establish communication with whoever is. In there, it took Helen 20 minutes to figure out how to connect with the alien ship's communication system. When she finally made contact, a weak voice spoke through the static. Do not. Tack. ... We surrender. ... We surrender. ... We're not here to attack you. We're not here to attack you. We want to help. Who are you? There was a long pause. Replied, stronger now, but still fearful. You are ... humans. Yes, can you understand us? I have translation equipment. I am Admiral Trixon of the Zarian hegemony, or what remains of it. Tony began scanning the alien ship. Captain, there's only one life form aboard. The ship's life support is failing. We need to bring him aboard if he's going to survive. Ryan thought about the risks. They had never actually met a living alien before, but if they wanted answers about humanity's true place in the galaxy, this might be their only chance. Admiral Trixon, your ship is badly damaged. We'd like to bring you aboard our vessel. Will you allow that? Another long pause. You would. Rescue me? After what my people tried to do to your world? We want to understand what happened here. Can you help us with that? Yes. Yes, I can tell you everything. But you may not like what you learn about your own species. An hour later, Admiral Trixon sat in the Endeavor's medical bay. He looked similar to the Colari, but was shorter and had darker skin. His large eyes were golden instead of silver, and he moved slowly, like someone who had been badly injured. Dr. Lisa Monroe had joined them from Earth to help with the medical examination and translation. She had spent the entire trip reading through the alien database files that Helen had recovered. Admiral Ryan began, "Can you tell us what really happened to your fleet?" Trixon's golden eyes looked sad. "We came here to invade your world. We had heard stories about humans, but we did not believe them. We thought they were just tales told by cowards who were afraid to fight." "What kind of stories?" "Stories about humans who could not be defeated, about a species that adapted to any environment and turned every encounter into a battle," we thought. "We were strong enough to prove the stories wrong." Dr. Monroe leaned forward. "How many ships did you bring?" 200 of our finest warships, each one capable of destroying a small planet. We thought it would be more than enough to conquer one primitive world. Tony asked the question they were all thinking. What went wrong? Trixon was quiet for a moment, remembering. Nothing went wrong. Everything went exactly as the stories said it would. The humans were waiting for us. Waiting. How could they know you were coming? "'Cause humans are everywhere," Trixon replied. "We thought we were traveling through empty space, but human ships had been tracking us for weeks. They knew our route, our numbers, our weapons. They were prepared," Helen spoke up. "The database we found mentioned human colonies throughout this region. Were they involved in the battle?" "Not colonies," Trixon corrected. "Military bases. Hidden stations scattered through dozens of star systems. When we entered what we thought was empty space, we found ourselves surrounded by human fleets." Ryan felt cold. Oh. How many human ships were there? Over 500? But it wasn't the numbers that defeated us. It was how they fought. Dr. Monroe checked her translation equipment. "Can you explain what you mean?" Trixon's eyes became distant, as if he was seeing the battle again. Other species fight to win battles. Humans fight to eliminate enemies completely. They don't just want to defeat you. They want to make sure you can never threaten them again. "What happened during the battle?" Ryan asked. "It wasn't a battle. It was a hunt. The human ships moved like a pack of predators. They cut off our escape routes first, then attacked our command ships. Within the first hour, we had lost all coordination. After that, they methodically destroyed every vessel in our fleet." Tony looked puzzled. "But you survived? How?" because one human commander decided I might be useful alive. They disabled my ship instead of destroying it, then left me here as a message to anyone else who might try to attack Earth. Dr. Monroe had been taking notes throughout the conversation. Admiral, in your opinion, how advanced is human military? Technology? Trixon laughed, but it wasn't a happy sound. Doctor, your species has been fighting wars in space for over 3 centuries. Your weapons, your ships, your tactics have been tested against dozens of different alien civilizations. Most species develop their military technology through simulations and small conflicts. Humans develop theirs through constant warfare. Are we really that much stronger than other species? Helen asked. It's not just strength, Trixon explained. It's how humans think about conflict. Most intelligent species try to avoid war. They see it as wasteful and destructive. Humans see it as a tool for solving problems. Ryan thought about what the alien was saying. You're telling us that humans are naturally better at warfare than other species? I'm telling you that humans are the only species I know of that actually enjoys fighting. Most aliens fight when they have to. Humans fight because they want to. Dr. Monroe looked through her notes. According to the alien database we recovered, over 40 different civilizations have been destroyed by human expansion. Is that true? Trixon nodded sadly. The humans call it expansion, but the rest of the galaxy calls it conquest. Your species doesn't just take territory, you take everything. Resources, technology, sometimes even the alien populations themselves. What do you mean? Tony asked. Some alien species that surrendered to humans early were allowed to live. They live as servants in the human empire. They work on human worlds, follow human laws, and serve human interests. The room was quiet for several minutes as everyone thought about what they had learned. Finally, Ryan asked the most important question. Admiral, what about the Kalari? Are they really trying to protect us? Trixon looked confused. Protect you? From what? They told us they've been maintaining an energy barrier around Earth too. Protect us from dangerous alien species. Trixon stared at them in amazement. There is no barrier around Earth, and the Kalari aren't trying to protect you from anyone. They're trying to protect everyone else from you. Dr. Monroe felt her world changing. What do you mean? The Kalari Collective represents the last free civilizations in this region of the galaxy. They came to Earth to negotiate a peace treaty. They want to offer humans anything they want in exchange for stopping the expansion. Why would they do that? Helen asked. Because they know they can't win a war against humanity. No one can. The choice for every alien species is simple. Surrender or be destroyed. Ryan stood up and walked to the window. Earth looked peaceful and beautiful. It was hard to believe that this quiet planet was the center of the galaxy's most feared empire. Admiral, what will happen if the Kalari can't negotiate peace with Earth? Trixon's golden eyes became very sad. Then the last free civilizations in the galaxy will be destroyed, just like mine was. The humans will continue expanding until they control everything. Tony asked quietly, how long do you think that will take? Based on the rate of human expansion over the past century, maybe 50 years, maybe less if they decide to move faster. Dr. Monroe looked at her notes again. Is there any way to stop human expansion? Trixon shook his head. Doctor, you're asking the wrong question. The real question is whether humanity wants to stop. From what I've observed, humans expand because that's their nature. Asking them to stop expanding would be like asking them to stop breathing. As the Endeavor headed back toward Earth, the crew sat in silence, thinking about what they had learned. Humanity wasn't the young, innocent species they had believed themselves to be. They were the galaxy's apex predators, and they had been. Conquering other civilizations for centuries, the Kalari weren't offering protection. They were offering surrender terms. And soon, Commander Jake Harrison would have to decide whether Earth would accept those terms or reveal the truth about what humanity really was. Admiral Trixon sat quietly in the medical bay, knowing that his rescue might be the last act of mercy any alien would receive from humans. The age of galactic conquest was ending and humanity had won. Commander Jake Harrison sat alone in his office, staring at the communication device the Kalari had given him. In 1 hour, he would meet with High Counselor Zefter for what would be their final conversation. Everything had changed since there. First meeting 3 days ago, on his desk lay reports from Admiral Trixon, intelligence files from the alien database, and classified documents that Colonel Patricia Adams had finally shared with him. The truth about humanity was spread across those papers. It was nothing like what Earth's population believed. Jake picked up his secure communicator and called Colonel Adams. "Patricia, are you ready for this?" "As ready as we can be," her voice replied. "The colonial fleets are in position. When you give the signal, they'll drop their stealth systems and reveal themselves." "How many ships are we talking about?" "Over 800 vessels in this system alone. Doesn't count the fleets protecting our other territories," Jake felt. The weight of responsibility on his shoulders. In the next hour, he would either doom humanity to eternal imprisonment or reveal that they were already the masters of the galaxy. What about Earth's population? How will they react when they learn the truth? "That's up to you, Jake. We can continue the secret protection system, or we can bring Earth into the Empire openly. Either way, humanity's expansion will continue." Jake ended the call and walked to his window. Earth looked so peaceful from space. Most of the people down there had no idea that their species had been conquering other worlds for centuries. They thought humans were just beginning to explore space. A soft chime indicated that the Kolari were requesting communication. Jake took a deep breath and activated the system. High Counselor Zefter appeared on the screen, but he looked different now. His usually calm expression showed signs of stress, and his silver eyes seemed worried. "Commander Harrison, we must speak urgently. We have detected unusual activity at the edge of your solar system." Jake decided it was time to stop pretending. "What kind of activity, Counselor?" "Energy signatures that suggest large numbers of vessels. We believe other alien species may be planning an attack on Earth. Or maybe," Jake said calmly, "you're detecting human ships that have been there all along." Zefter's face went very still. "What do you mean? I mean, we know the truth, Counselor. We know there's no protective barrier around Earth. We know about the alien fleets that have been destroyed trying to reach our world. We know that humanity has been expanding through the galaxy for centuries." The alien was quiet for a long moment. When he spoke again, his voice was different. The false friendliness was gone, replaced by something that sounded like fear. ... "Much do you know?" "Everything. We know about the human colonies, the military bases, the conquered worlds. We know that over 40 alien civilizations have been destroyed or absorbed by human expansion. We know that you're not here to protect us. You're here to negotiate surrender terms." Zefter closed his large silver eyes. "Then you understand our position. I understand that you're afraid of us. The question is, what do we do about it?" He activated another control on his desk. The main screen split, showing additional faces. Dr. Lisa Monroe appeared from the research station. Captain Ryan Brooks from the Endeavour, and Admiral Trixon from the medical facility where he was recovering. "Counselor," Jake continued, "I want you to meet Admiral Trixon. I believe you know what happened to his fleet?" Zefter looked at the alien survivor with what might have been sadness. "Admiral, I am sorry for what happened to your people," Trixon spoke in his translated voice. "Counselor, you tried to warn us. We should have listened." Dr. Monroe leaned forward. "Counselor Zefter, we want to understand your proposal. What exactly are you offering humanity?" Zefter looked directly at Jake. "We offer complete access to all Kalari technology, medical advances that could extend human life by centuries, energy systems that could power your entire civilization, without any pollution, transportation technology that could move your ships across the galaxy instantly." "In exchange for what?" Jake asked. "In exchange for humanity agreeing to limit its expansion to the territories it already controls. No more conquest. No more destruction of alien civilizations." Captain Ryan Brooks spoke up from his ship, "And if we refuse, then the last free species in this region of the galaxy will fight until they are all destroyed. We know we cannot win. But we will not surrender without resistance." Jake stood up and walked closer to the screen. Counselor, let me ask you something. In all your studies of humanity, have you ever known humans to accept limitations when they had the power to overcome them? Zephyr was quiet. You've been watching us for centuries, Jake continued. You've seen how we react when other species try to control us or limit us. What makes you think we would accept your offer? Zephyr said desperately. The alternative is the complete extinction of every non-human intelligence in the galaxy. Surely humans can see that some diversity is better than none. Dr. Monroe spoke gently. Counselor, what if there was a third option? What if humanity offered protection instead of conquest? What do you mean? Jake made his decision. We're going to show you something, Counselor. Something that will change how you think about this situation. He activated his communicator. Colonel Adams dropped the stealth systems. All ships, full visibility. Within seconds, the space around Earth filled with light. Hundreds of human warships materialized, their hulls gleaming in the sunlight. They had been there all along, invisible and waiting. Zephyr stared at the display. In shock. How? How many ships do you have? In this system, about 800? Throughout human space? Over 10,000? The Kalari counselor seemed to shrink in his chair. We had no idea the numbers were so large. Admiral Trixon spoke. Up, Counselor. The humans were never contained in this system. They've been expanding the entire time you thought you were negotiating with them. Jake sat back down. Counselor Zephyr, here's what's going to happen. Humanity will continue to expand, because that's our nature. But we're making you an offer. What kind of offer? Join us willingly, and your species will be treated as partners. You'll keep your worlds, your culture, your government. You'll just accept human leadership in galactic affairs. Dr. Monroe nodded. Think of it as protection, rather than conquest. Humans are very good at fighting, but we're also good at managing large territories. Under human rule, there would be no more wars between alien species. Zephyr looked confused. You would allow us to maintain our independence? Limited independence, Jake clarified. You would govern your own worlds according to your own customs, but you would follow human law in matters of trade, military action, and expansion. Any conflicts between species would be resolved by human arbitrators. Captain Ryan Brooks added, Counselor, look at it from our perspective. We could destroy all remaining alien civilizations within 50 years, but then we'd have to manage empty planets and rebuild everything ourselves. It's much more efficient to leave existing populations in place. Zephyr was quiet for several minutes, thinking. Finally, he asked, what about species that refuse to accept human authority? Jake's expression became serious. They'll be treated the same way we've treated every species that has opposed us for the past 3 centuries. And species that accept will be protected, allowed to prosper, and given access to the benefits of the human empire. Look at Admiral Trixon. His people fought us and lost everything. Your people can choose a different path, Trixon spoke. To his fellow alien, Counselor, I have seen what humans do to enemies and what they do to allies. I recommend you choose to be allies. Zephyr looked around at all the human faces on his screen. How long do we have to decide?
How long?
You need? Jake asked. I must consult with the other species in our alliance. This decision affects everyone. If 72 hours, Jake said. After that, we begin the final phase of expansion in this region. And if we agree to your terms, Dr. Monroe smiled, then you become part of the largest, most successful civilization in galactic history. Your people will be safe, prosperous, and free to pursue their own development under human protection. Very well, Zephyr said. I will present your offer to the Alliance. We will give you our answer in 3 days. The communication ended, leaving Jake alone in his office again. Outside his window, the human fleet continued to patrol Earth's space, no longer hidden. His communicator chimed, Jake, this is Colonel Adams. How do you think it went? I think they'll accept, Jake replied. They're smart enough to know they don't have any other choice. And Earth. When do we tell the population the truth? Jake looked down at his home planet. Gradually. We'll start with the government leaders, then the military, then the general population. People need time to adjust to the idea that they're citizens of a galactic empire. What about the alien survivors like Admiral Trixon? They'll be treated well. We'll need them to help manage the transition of their species into the empire. As Jake prepared to address Earth's leaders about humanity's true place in the galaxy, he reflected on what had happened. The Kalari had come to Earth thinking they were negotiating with a primitive species that needed protection. Instead, they had discovered that humans were already the galaxy's apex predators.